Good morning students. Today we'll be discussing regarding the subgraphs under the introduction to graph theory in the module 5. So let us see the definition of subgraph. So we have two graphs over here. This is G1, this is G1 and this is the graph G and this is G1 graph. So this is the main graph, G is the main graph and G1 is the part of this particular graph. So that's why it is an example of the subgraph. So given two graphs G and G1, we say that G1 is a subgraph of G if the following condition holds. That means this is a subgraph of this particular graph. That is, this is a subgraph of this particular main graph if it follows with these two conditions. One condition is all the vertices that is v1, v2, v3, v4 and all the edges, that is these edges of graph 1, this is the graph 1, are in this main graph, okay, and each edge of G1 is this subgraph, okay, as the same end vertices in G as in G1. Okay, so first I'll just give an example, then we'll go back to definition and we'll recall the concepts. So this is the main graph he has given. Okay, so this is the main graph he has given over here, that is G, and this is an example of the subgraph he has given. Now you'll tell the graph is a subgraph. First, all the end vertices of this graph should be there over here. So check for V1, it is there. Okay, V1, V2, which all this, that is this section. Okay, V1 to V2. V1 to V2, V2 to V3, V3 through V4 and V1 to V4. That is V1 to V2, V3, V4. All this condition satisfied. All the vertices are there. Check for the corresponding edges also. V1 to V2 is there. V2 to V3, it's there. V3 to V4, it's there. V4 to V1, it is there. And V1 to V3 also, it is there. Okay, all the vertices and all the edges, whatever these edges are there, all these edges are also there over here. So you can see here, this and this and this, all the edges are there in graph G. Okay, this is an example of the subgraph. This is the main graph. The part of this graph is called a subgraph. So all the vertices and all the edges of this are there in the main graph, and each edge of G1, whatever this new graph edge is there, right, has the same end vertices whatever is there in this. So if you see V1, V2, yes, V1, V2 is there. V2, V3, yes, V2, V3 is the end vertex. V3, V4, V3, V4, V4, V1, V4, V1, and V1 to V3 it is there. It's not there like V2 to V4 or like V1 to V somewhere else, it is not there. It is there to the particular what is mentioned over here. So this also holds. Each edge of G1 has the same end vertices in G as in G1. So this is the definition of the subgraph. So if it holds two conditions, all the vertices and all the edges of this should be there in this graph, and also each edge of G1 should have the same end vertices what is there in this graph. Okay, a subgraph is a graph which is a part of another graph. So if you see this as a main graph, it is a part of this graph. Okay, so this is regarding the two definitions and example of the subgraph. So let us go to the next concepts, that is spanning subgraph. If you're seeing the subgraph concept, a graph, major graph is there, a major graph, part of that graph should be a subgraph. Now you understood the definition of the subgraph, same concept but attached is spanning subgraph. Okay, so first I'll tell the example of spanning subgraph. What is the spanning subgraph is, again, it is a subgraph of a graph itself. Okay, it is a subgraph of a graph itself, but one condition is all the vertices, now whatever the graph is given the vertices, right, so that all the vertices should be there. If this is the main graph, for example, if this is the main graph A, B, C, D, then all the vertices should be there. Forget, and the edges of whatever this, it might be there, it may not be there, that's fine, but all the vertices should be there. So that is regarding the spanning subgraph. So if you see over here, given a graph G, V, E, okay, if there is a subgraph G1, V1, E1 of G such that V1 is equal to V, that means whatever vertices is there in the main graph, the new graph also those vertices should be there, then G is called the spanning subgraph of G. We are not telling regarding the edges, all the edges should be there. So if you see over here, he has taken only A to B, B to C and B to D and C to D. He has removed this particular edge, okay, and also this particular edge. That's fine, but all the vertices should be there. That is what he is mentioning in the condition. In other words, you would say a subgraph G1 of a graph G is a spanning subgraph of G wherever G1 contains all vertices of G. There's a graph and its all spanning subgraphs have the same vertex set. Okay, so every own graph, if you see this, every own graph is its own spanning subgraph. If you see over here, this itself, this subgraph itself is own spanning subgraph, because why? All the vertices are present over here. So this is an example for spanning subgraph of this particular graph. If you see, ABCD is there, and corresponding, you know, in the subgraph the edges should be, what is the definition of the subgraph? Edges should be, part of this graph should be a subgraph. If you see, like A to B, yes, B to D, yes, C to D, yes, A to C is not there, but this part of graph, that means this part, only this part of this graph is present here. So it is a subgraph, but to be a spanning subgraph, all the vertices of this graph should be there over here. So this condition satisfied, so this is a spanning subgraph. When you come over here, this particular example, you can notice that A is missing, A is missing. So this is not a spanning subgraph. So this is not a spanning subgraph. So this is regarding the spanning subgraph definition. Let us go to the induced subgraph. So what he is telling in the induced subgraph is, I'll just go to the example. If this is a graph, if this is a main graph and this is a subgraph, like what we had seen over there in the first slide, but if you mention certain vertices, right, whatever the edges is there. Now for example, here if you see, I'll take this particular color, V1 to V2, this is the major graph, okay, G, and this is the G1, and this is a G2, let it be graph 2, okay. So V1 to V2, yes, it is there, V1 to V5, it is there, and V2 to V5, it is there. This section is, I mean this section is there, okay, and then from V2 to V3 is there, and V5 to there. Only this section is not there, this entire section is there. So same graph we have written over here, this entire section is there. So this is that induced subgraph. Now what is the definition? Given a graph G, this is a graph G, if there is a subgraph G1 of G such that every edge, whatever AB of G, that means this edge is there, right, all these edges should be there in this particular graph. Every edge AB of G, that means this itself, where AB belongs to vertex 1 also, that means it belongs to these new graph vertices also, is an edge of G1 also, then G1 is called an induced subgraph. Okay, if you see this, go back to this example, this is also an induced subgraph, you see. Okay, this particular section we told, right, that is also an induced subgraph. So over here he is telling regarding this particular graph I have taken from this particular combination. So whatever the edges corresponding to this is there, whatever the edges is belonging to this particular graph, it should be also there in the main graph. So given a graph G is equal to vertex comma edge, if there is a subgraph new, that is this subgraph of G, such that every edge of this existing graph, where those edges belong to the edge of G1 also, graph 1 also, then G1 is called an induced subgraph, or it is also called as induced by vertex 1 and is denoted by V1. Now when you come back over here, if you see over here, this is another example he has given, same thing, V1 to V2 and V1 to V5, V1 to V2, V1 to V5 and V5 to V2, but V2 to V3 is there, V2 to V3 is there, and V3 to V5 is there. This edge is missing. This edge should be there, that edge is missing. Okay, so this is not an induced subgraph because we miss the edge whatever is there in the main graph. So for example, when you draw, if there is an edge V5 to V3 to V3, you check, it's there, you have an edge, you cannot miss that in the induced subgraph. So whatever the edges is there, you have to draw. For example, if you go back over here, check for V1, V2, V3, V4, you mentioned V1, V2, V3, V4, whatever the edges for that, it is there. V4 to V5, we did not mention any vertex. V5 vertex itself we have not mentioned. So this is also an induced subgraph, whatever the edges is there over there, so that we are going to put the edge over here. So this is regarding the induced subgraph. Next is edge disjoint and vertex disjoint subgraph. So for example, let G1 and G2 be the two subgraphs of G. Let G1 and G2 be the two subgraphs of G. For example, if this is the main graph, okay, this is the main graph G, and let this be G1 and G2 graphs. We tell that G1 and G2 are said to be edge disjoint if they do not have any edge in common. Okay, if they do not have any edge in common. So for example, if you see V1, V2, V5, I took this V1 to V2, V2 to V5, V1 to V1 to V5. Okay, I'm just telling that this part, this section V1 to V2, V2 to V5 I've taken. This is one part of this particular graph. One more part I can take it as V5 to V3, V3 to V4, V4 to V5. That is here V1. Okay, here you can see that is V3. Okay, this is V3, V3 to V5, V3 to V4. That is, I've taken this particular section. So you can see there G1 and G2. This one I made it as G1 and this graph I made it as G2. So G1 and G2 are said to be edge disjoint if they do not have any edge in the common. So you can see this is one graph and this is one graph, so there is no edges in common. That's why it is called edge disjoint. Whereas G1 and G2 are said to be vertex disjoint if they do not have any common edge and any common vertex. It should not have any common, if it is this, right, it should not have any common edge as well as any common vertex. Now for example, this graph itself, now how can we do G1 and G2? That means how can we tell that G1 and G2 are vertex disjoint sets? So I can just take from this graph as G1 as V1 to V2, okay, and I can take V5 graph 2 as V5 to V4, and also I can take V5 to, okay, I can make like this V5 to V5. I took this entire graph V5, V3, V4. This is one graph, and from this I just took V1 and V2, V1 and 2. If you see over here, this vertex and this vertex are not repeating, vertex disjoint, as well as they do not have any common edge between them. They should not have any common edge also. V1 to V, this is a separate edge and this is a separate edge. If you want, if you put here V1 to V5, that means definition goes false. So we cannot put V1 to V5. So we can just put V1 to V2, V1 to V2. So this is regarding the definition of the edge disjoint and vertex disjoint subgraphs. So I'll just tell regarding the main definition. You have the subgraphs, you have the subgraph. So when you will tell that subgraph, if all the vertices and all the edges of the main graphs are present, then you will tell it as a subgraph. Spanning subgraph is nothing but a graph itself is a spanning subgraph, but all the vertices should be there. We are not worried regarding the edge. We are not worried regarding the edges. So that is regarding the spanning subgraph. Induced subgraph, as I told, whatever the vertices of the main graph you write, corresponding edges should be there, then it is a induced subgraph. Edge disjoint and vertex disjoint subgraphs are nothing but G1 and G are said to be edge disjoint if they do not have any common edge in common, and G1 and G2 are said to be vertex disjoint if they do not have any common edge as well as any common vertex. So these are the basic definition. Based on this, we'll solve the problems in the next slide. So example 1, given a graph G1, they have told given a graph G1, can there exist a graph G2? Can there exist a graph G2 such that G1 is a subgraph? Okay, now you have a graph G1, you should check whether there can be a graph G2 such that G1 is a subgraph of G2. G1 should be a subgraph of G2, but it should not be spanning, but not a spanning graph. Shouldn't be a spanning graph, okay, spanning subgraph of G, and yet G1 and G2 should have the same size, What do you mean by G1 and G2 should have a same size? That means both graph edges should be same. Okay, now for example, if I take these two edges should be the same, right? So if I take these two graphs, okay, let this be G2 and G2 and let this be G1. Okay, so let me name it as like V1, V2, V3, V1, V2, V3. He has told that G2 and G1 should have same size. G1 and G2 should have same size. So given a graph G1, can there exist a graph G2 such that G1 is a subgraph of G2? If we see this particular condition, same graph can be a subgraph. So G1 is a subgraph of this. Yes, G2 can be a subgraph, but it should not be a spanning subgraph. If it should not be a spanning subgraph means what? Whatever the vertices over here should not be the same vertices over here. Now this is your main graph and this is your subgraph. How can you tell this is a subgraph? If it is, this graph is a part of this particular graph, but both the graphs are equal, so it cannot be a subgraph also, because both are normal graphs. It's a subgraph means it's a not a part of graph, same graphs it is. So what I can do is I can put one vertex extra, v4. Now this is the main graph. Now from this I can build a subgraph. Yes, I put an isolated vertex. Now when you see you have the vertex set as v1, v2, v3, v4, and this v1, v2, v3 is a subgraph of this, so that G2 such that G1 is a subgraph, so that condition match, but not a spanning subgraph. Agree. If it should be a spanning subgraph, whatever the vertices should be there over here should be there here also. Yes, v4 is missing, so this is not a spanning subgraph. That condition matched, and both the graphs should have the same size, means both the graphs should have the edges same. So this two diagrams can be an example of such type of graph. So let us write in terms of statements. So consider a graph G1. Consider a graph G1 which contains all the vertices, which contain all the vertices and all the edges of G and at least one extra isolated vertex. So consider the below figures. Consider the below figures for such examples, for such type. Consider the below figures for such type. So it would be v2, v1, v3, v1, v2, v3, v4. Okay, so this is an example one problem. So just make sure that it satisfies both subgraph, not a spanning subgraph, and which has the same number of edges. So this is regarding the example 1. Let us go to the example 2. He has told consider a graph G1 shown in figure this 1.73a. Verify that graph G1 shown over here, that means shown in this particular figure, is an induced subgraph, okay, of G. Is this a spanning graph of G? That's what he has told. He has also told whether it is a spanning. Obviously it's not a spanning graph, because all the vertices of this graph, it is not there in this, so it's not a spanning graph. Induced graph we need to check, and then he told draw the subgraph of G2 of G. That means you need to draw one more graph of this induced by only these vertices. That means whatever the vertices they have told, right, only those vertices, that is induced by only those vertices. So first we'll see the first question. Verify that the graph G1 shown in the figure 1.73 is an induced subgraph of G. So let us just check whatever this graph shown over here is an induced subgraph. So he has mentioned the vertices as v1, v3, v4, v6 and v7. Now whatever the edges for these vertices are there, whether it is there in this particular graph, we'll check. Here v1 is there, it has one edge, it is going to v3. Yes, v1 to v3 it is there. Come to v3, v3 to v4 it is been gone, and v3 to v6 it is gone. So v3 to v4 and v3 to v6, yes, it's there. After that he has mentioned v3 to v4 and v3 to v6 is there. So our job with v1 is done, v3 is done, v3 to v4 it was there, v3 to v6 it is there. Then we had go to v4 to v6 it is there, v4 to v7 is there, v4 to v3 is there. So v4 to v3, v4 to v6, v4 to v7. Go to v6 to whatever the these vertices, if it is there, it should be there. That means v6 to v3, v6 to v4, v6 to v7. Yes, v6 to v3, v6 to v4, v6 to v7. Also to v5 it is there, but he has not mentioned that particular vertices. Whatever the vertices he has mentioned over there, for that corresponding edge to that vertices, is it there or not, we are going to check. So v7 will come last, v7 to v6 it is there, v7 to v4 it is there. So this is an induced subgraph. Is this a spanning graph of G? No, it is not a spanning, because all the vertices what is mentioned over here is not there. There are missing like v5, v8, v9. These vertices are missing. In spanning, all the vertices should be there. So that is regarding the second one. So I hope it's clear with the explanation of the second one. Next they told draw the subgraph G2 of G induced by the set only these three. So I'll just draw that second graph. First I'll give the explanation, but we'll draw the second subgraph. He has told v3. So consider v3 from here. I'll just consider v3 is draw the subgraph of G2 of G induced by the set of only these vertices. So whatever the v3 to any edge to these is there, you try to connect. So v3 to v4 is there, v3 to v6 it is there. So v3 to v6 is there, and v3 to v4 is there. v4 is there. So I draw v3 to v6, v3 to v4. So this to this is done. Next v3 to any v8 and v9, any v8 and v9 edge, no. Go to v4. When you go to v4, you have v4 to v6, you have v4 to v6, v4 to v3 is already connected, v4 to v8 you check, v4 to v8 we don't have, v4 to v9 you check, v4 to v9 no edges, done. So v3 is done, v4 is done. Go to v6, v6 to v4 is connected, v6 to v3 is connected. Go and check for v8. v8 is there, v9 is not there. So go and we'll put a line over here. So it is v8, v6 to v8 is there. So v6 to only v8 is there. So it is being connected. After that, go back to v8, v8 to v9 is there. So this is the induced, this is an induced graph by these set of vertices. So for the second one, this is the solution. First one, I'll write the theory part here. Okay, so the first one, we need to check, we need to write the theory. So I'll just write for the first one. The vertex set of graph G1, the vertex set of graph G1, namely V1 is equal to, V1, comma V3, comma V4, comma V6, comma V7 is a subset, is a subset of the vertex set V is equal to V1, V2, V9 of G. Okay, so if you see the vertex set of the new graph, this particular graph, whatever that V1, V2 is a subset of this entire set of the graph of G. That is the first point. After that, also all the edges of G1 are in G. Further, each edge in G1 has the same end vertices of G, as the same end vertices in G as in G1. Therefore, right here, therefore, continuation is over here. Therefore, G1 is a subgraph of G. We further check that every vertex, check that every edge, we further check that every edge vi comma vj of G, of main graph G, where vi comma vj belongs to v1 is an edge of g1, is an edge of g1. Therefore, which we already verified all these edges, therefore g1 is an induced subgraph of G. Therefore g1 is an induced subgraph of G, induced subgraph of G. Okay, that condition we satisfied. Induced. Is this a spanning graph? Since whatever the new graph vertex is there, since vertex 1 does not belong to existing vertex, G1 is not a spanning subgraph. G1 is not a spanning subgraph. Okay, so this was for this explanation was for the first point. Second point, directly we are going to draw this particular graph. I hope it's clear with the example 2. Let's solve the example 3. Example 3, they have told that consider the graph shown in this figure, that is 1.7.4a. Verify that graphs G1 and G2, these both graphs, are induced subgraph of G, whereas the graph G3, that is this graph, is not an induced subgraph of G. So first let us see whether these two graphs are induced subgraph of this, and this graph is not an induced subgraph of this. So let us check with this. So over here this is the main graph. So if you want this graph, we have to verify whether it is induced. So it is induced by the vertices v1, v2, v4 and v5. So we'll see v1, v2, v4 and v5. So whatever the edges is there within these vertices and the edges, that should be there in the main graph. So if you see over here, v1 to v2 is there. Check with v1 to v2, it is there. v1 to v4, v1 to v2, it is there. So it's already there over here. v1 to v4, you check, yes, it is there. v1 to v5. So there are three edges going to these three vertices. All these three edges are there. v2 to v3 is there, but we have not mentioned v3 and v6. So v2 to v1 it is there, v4 to v1 it is there, v5 to v1 it is there. So this is an induced subgraph. So why? Because it is induced by only these four vertices, v1, v2, v4, v5, v1, v2, v4, v5, and whatever the edges is there between these vertices within these vertices itself, it is there. So it is an induced. So graph 1 is an induced graph. Second, they have told with G2 has mentioned induced graph only with v2, v5, v3 and v6. So just see v2 the edge is going to v3 and v1, but v1 vertex is not there, so v2 to v3 it is there. Then it is v3 to v3 has only connection with v2. Yes, done. Next you have v5 to v1 and v5 to v6. So here we don't have v1, we have v5 to v6. So this graph is also an induced subgraph. Next he has mentioned v1, v2, v3, v5 and v6. Okay, so this is not an induced graph, you are supposed to prove. So we'll try. v1 to v2 is there, v1 to v5 vertex is there. From v1 you have v2 and v4, but v4 vertex is not there. From v1 v5 edge should be there, but this edge is missing, so obviously it is not an induced subgraph. Other than that, v2 will go to v2 to v1 and v2 to v3, that is correct. v1 is done. v5 will go to v5 to v1 and v5 to v6. So even this edge, only problem is with this edge, so it is not a induced subgraph. So for this, let us write the theoretical statements. So I hope it's clear. Whatever the vertices is mentioned now this was regarding this graph, whatever the edges is over here, okay, here whatever for these vertices edges are there in this particular graph, same edges should be there in this particular graph, same over here also, but it is not a induced subgraph only because of the reason the edge is missing between v1 and v5. Okay, so this is regarding the explanation of the graph. So let us write the statements over here. I'll write the statement over here. We note that vertex sets of G1, G2, G3 are all subsets of vertex sets, subsets of vertex sets of G for the all edges in G, all edges in each of G1, G2, G3 have the same end vertices, in G as in this. Therefore all of G1, G2, G3 are subgraphs of G. Okay. Therefore, we came to know they are subgraphs. So we'll check with G1 is an induced subgraph. Okay. Further, we check every edge in G whose end vertices belong to G1 is an edge in G1. So we'll write here. Further, check that every edges in G whose end vertices belong to G1 is an edge in G1. Therefore G1 is an induced subgraph. Of G. So it is induced by the set V1, V2. These vertices you are going to write V1, V2, V4 and V5. Similarly, G2 is an induced subgraph. Similarly, G2, I'll just write the same thing you write, and it is induced by the set V2. Write these vertices V2, V3, V5, V6. Same statement you just write. G1 is an induced subgraph of G. It is induced by the set this. Similarly, G2 is an induced subgraph of G. It is induced by the set this. Next, the subgraph G3 of G is not an induced subgraph. The subgraph G3 of G is not an induced subgraph of G because V1, V5 is not an edge is missing. V1 edge is V1 because V1, edge is not in G3. Okay, so this is regarding the example 3. Let us solve the example 4. So here he has told, for the graph shown below, find two edge disjoint and two vertex disjoint subgraph. So you know what is two edge disjoint. There should not be any common edge, and vertex disjoint, there should not be any common vertex as well as the common edges. So the two edge disjoint I'll be drawing over here. Two edge disjoint subgraph. Edge disjoint subgraph I'll draw over here. Two edge disjoint subgraph. So you know edge disjoint means there should not be any common edge. So I can make this as one, that is P2Q, and this, that is P2R, P2Q and Q2S for edge disjoint, and there should not be any edge common, and I can make these R, S and T. This is two edge disjoint subgraph. If you remember, there should not be any common edge, but vertex can be common. For two vertex disjoint, I'll draw over here. two vertex disjoint subgraph is there should not be any vertex common as well as edge common. So I can take this PQ, that is this P to Q, okay, another one I can take RST because I don't want any vertex to be common, right? So RST. RST. So vertex is not common, even the edges are not common. So this is the concept of two edge disjoint subgraphs and two vertex disjoint subgraphs. So this is an example for the regarding vertex and the edge disjoint subgraphs. Thank you.